Wake up!
Get up
You get out of bed this instant.
and turn it on. Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to The Big Show. It's Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show is brought to you by Caro, and our guest for this morning is from Career Agility International, Mr. Adrian Choo. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to all our Kiss 92 listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us, Adrian. Today we're talking about what?
It's
Moonlighting.
very special.
It's
today,
very
special
special.
edition. It's Ask Adrian Anything.
Wow.
So basically, AKA Free Career Advice Day.
Wow.
So
Okay,
if
cool.
you need any career advice whatsoever, head to our YouTube or our Facebook channels and key it in the comment section. Or if you're listening to us on air right now, you can also WhatsApp it in to 8855-0920. Anything at all that you want to find out from Adrian. He is the expert about your career. If you're thinking about making a move, if you're thinking about quitting, if you're thinking about killing your boss, anything at all, we have all the advice for you.
Killing your boss.
Yeah, well, some people think about it.
Some people don't get along with their bosses.
Yeah,
What's your
so-
advice to
This is
people
true.
like that who are maybe, not in a very good place right now? Relationships between bosses and employees, very important.
Well, first advice is don't kill your boss.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't
Of
listen
course.
to Angel.
Yeah, but the relationship with the boss can be very tenuous at times. I mean, it's an interpersonal relationship thing. So, you just got to learn how to get along. And one piece of advice I've always shared with my clients is you don't have to love your boss. Sometimes you just need to tolerate your boss. Because always remember, he's the boss. So you got to play it by ear. And,
He writes the
He
checks,
writes the
right?
check. So you got to be mindful who's the boss, and he's the boss.
Yeah, because I don't know. I've heard this so many times. You get these new bosses that come in, right? And they come in all gung ho, strong, and full of power, and they just ruffle feathers because they're new and they don't understand how everything works. Then what do? Should you be going to that boss and saying, "Let me tell you about this. Let me explain," or should I
If
just?
you're tired of living, you do that.
No, I'm wondering, should I go to that boss and explain the workings of the organization, or what?
Oh, shut up.
Or just be quiet?
I think one of the first things to do when there's a new boss in town is to get to know him a little bit better. You might want to explain the context. He might know what you do, but you might want to explain the context of the work you do within the larger organization, so he has a picture of how you contribute, how you create value. So I would actually recommend that you go up to him, provide him with information, data, the size of your portfolio, what exactly you do, who you interact with, and most importantly, how can I help you, Mr. Boss, to do your job better and how to get things done.
Yeah.
But
That's
in the
important.
least condescending way,
least
right?
condescending
I mean, because
way,
some people can come off like looking like they're trying to tell the boss how he should do his job.
Yeah.
Because if you go up to a boss and tell him everything, the workings and this and that,
Yeah.
and
There
all
are
the
people
ins
who
and
are
outs.
born like that.
This
Really.
is true.
Sometimes
This
they
is true.
don't know that they're being condescending and all
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
they're just born stupid.
Okay. So we're going to continue talking
And you will
about
go
stupidity.
nowhere. If you have that
Yeah.
kind of attitude, right? And if you're just dumb like that, then chances are you're never going to progress.
This is true. This is true.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Okay. It's Thursday, the 16th of March.
Kiss 92 Day Check by Gain City. Gain City's 42nd anniversary sale is here. Enjoy $42 off every $4.99.
I have.
You're saying this while we are going out live?
Yeah, well, there's no other way I can say it.
Our three producers say
three
we are live
we're
on
live, yeah.
on all the platforms, so we're live. Yes.
Just remember, folks, it is about picking Adrian's brain today. It really is about picking Adrian's brain today. If you have a question, then ask it. When we opened this, I said, "Are we going to talk about moonlighting?" I do have a question on moonlighting. Young people today they always have a side hustle, and I think it's important for them to have side hustles. Is it allowed?
Well, technically speaking, according to the employment contract, most employment contracts do not allow you to moonlight.
Really?
Do not allow you to have a side hustle, technically speaking. Or at least you must get clearance from HR and leadership team first.
Any side hustle?
Technically, as long as you're being remunerated, or if there's a possible conflict of interest.
If you're a full-time employee,
if you're a full-time employee.
Right,
yeah.
If you're a full-time employee.
Yeah.
So that's something which does come up and that's why the side hustle bit can get you into trouble, especially if the management seems to think that there's a conflict of interest.
Right.
If it's in the same industry,
Same
obviously you
industry.
don't want to do that, right?
But
Yeah,
you
correct.
see, I see conflict of interest totally differently.
How do you see it?
Conflict of interest doesn't necessarily mean I have to be in the same industry. Conflict of interest means, am I giving enough time to my initial employer?
Yeah.
But
That
if you
is
are,
conflict of
but if
interest.
you are,
If you are, then it's okay. But once again, some companies even frown on you being a Grab car driver during weekends, off hours, because it might hurt your company's image. If they find out that, hey, wait a minute, you mean the sales director of this company is moonlighting on a Sunday as
well,
a...
clearly he needs the money.
Yes.
Then you're not paying him.
But how
enough. I mean,
important is his image?
yeah.
I mean,
Paramount.
It is kind of so. Imagine if you were okay. So I think I've spoken of this before. There was a senior partner in the law firm. Okay, he was helping his wife out just for the fun of it on weekends at those pasar malam type of events.
Yes.
Yeah, and his colleagues and his bosses caught wind of it and they told him to stop.
what was he doing though? I mean,
He was just
for-
helping behind
Sell.
the stall.
as in his actual
He's
job.
one of the partners in the law firm.
Oh,
In a law firm, right.
See, so
Okay.
imaging, very important. You
So
don't-
suddenly you see him on the weekend in selling satay.
But I think that's.
But that's
I mean,
old-fashioned, isn't it?
I
That's
think
old-fashioned thinking,
I think
right?
it's so
Yeah, it
nice of him to be helping his wife on the weekends. I mean,
This
why
has
not?
got nothing to do with wife. This has got to do with conservative law firm. It's got to do with conservative law firm. There are so many companies, and you tell me if I'm wrong. You join a company, you carry me on your shoulder 24/7. That is your priority. I'm
Because
on
if
your
not, people
shoulder.
will be thinking like, "Hey, the law firm's not paying you enough, or what? Is it?"
Exactly.
Or is
Yeah,
this the guy
so-
that is this the guy selling satay that's going to be representing me in
Me.
court?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
old
So
fashioned.
you carry it on your shoulder all the time. I remember when I got my job. Believe it or not, I was your paper dispensers in the washrooms.
Yeah.
That was one of my first ever jobs. Okay.
Okay.
What do you do though?
Change the paper
We
dispenser.
used to
The
go.
paper.
No, we used to go and sign the contracts for.
Oh,
them.
right. You were selling them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the boss said, no matter what, you are always dressed as if you're going to work. I said Saturday and Sunday, always, because company is on your shoulder all the time. It's the first thing we were told when they were training us to sell
so
it.
what do you mean?
That
Always.
is-
So on Saturdays you were wearing so there wasn't a uniform
It's not a uniform, but you always dress smart.
properly, right?
You know, you're always dressed smart. So for me to go out on a Saturday with slippers was unheard of.
That's silly.
Unheard of. But that's
really
how far
silly.
they carried it. Old-fashioned conservative firm.
Yeah.
Well, you're not paying me for the weekends. Why should I dress the way
But
you
it
asked me
happens.
to?
That's what I'm saying is it happens.
So for me, I think the biggest issue about moonlighting, I always believe that you should have a side gig going on. Okay, just for the intellectual stimulation, or maybe you just want to trial run a business idea. So side gigs, side hustles are actually good for your career. The biggest problem comes in is when either there's a conflict of interest, as I said, or if your bosses find out and don't find out in a good way, or if sometimes the bosses are just sensitive about things and they say that, hey, you can't. Other times it's a company policy, like I said earlier. They may feel that even though you're doing a grab hitch or grab car driving in the evenings, just to get your way back home. Some companies might go like, no, that's moonlighting. I'm not allowing you to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a company policy, and the bigger question is do I tell my bosses? Do I declare it?
So these days, it's like you have to ask yourself,
Is it worth
am
it?
I like when you go to work, right? Am I feeling lucky today?
Yeah. Yeah, really. It's, yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people moonlight these days, especially I feel because like inflation, everything's getting more expensive, but pay is not going up.
It's not going up as much
You
as
know,
the
rental
inflation
is going up, housing is going up,
Yeah.
cars are going up, everything else is going up, but pay is not matching that. So I mean, to match that increase, I wouldn't blame anyone for taking a second job.
But when you take a second job, if you don't inform your company, if you don't inform your management, then you look after yourself properly.
Okay, stand by. We're going back on the radio.
Quite, you,
Charlie Puth featuring Kilani. Done for me right here on Kiss 92. We're with Adrian Choo from Korea Agility International. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning. And just now off the air, we were talking about moonlighting.
Moonlighting.
And I think one of the important distinctions we need to draw between a side gig and moonlighting is that the traditional view of moonlighting is literally what Glenn said just now, a second job. So, if I got a day job and I do something on my second shift at night, okay, like security or something else, that is technically moonlighting. But if you're doing a side gig that's just taking part of your time out, I don't think there's going to be any major repercussions if you're, selling cakes on the weekend, online, or you're doing some
Home
e-shop,
baking
some
or
home
something.
baking or stuff. I don't think that's going to get you into a lot of trouble. So the moonlighting piece, by and large, it's referring to a full-time second job because that's going to take you away, like what FD said, from your time from your current job and your focus and your energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So we did ask you to submit questions for Adrian here because this is Ask Adrian time. One of the questions is, what's the most coveted skill in the job market right now? Do you have any idea what's most coveted?
Well, I think it depends on where you are.
skills.
I mean, it's like, once again, what we always say, how long is a piece of string, right? It's like, there are so many
It depends on your industry, right?
It depends on the industry,
I
right?
think there are a lot of important skills that you need to have. The biggest threat to our work existence, I believe, is actually AI, ChatGPT kind of stuff. Like the one we did 2 weeks ago, right? It was scary. So I think one of the skills you need to learn is how to distinguish the work that you do that can be done or replaced by AI versus the work that can't. And you focus on the work that you can't. So the skill is not so much a skill, but more as a meta, high-level skill to be able to look at your work and go, hey, this piece could be replaced by AI. Let me move upstream. And how do I upskill in that area? So I think depending on the context of the work that you are in, what's most important is to be able to see and move up the value chain rather than just stick around and wait to be replaced by ChatGPT, because that's scary amazing.
We have something from WhatsApp saying, my HR recently asked us to draft and update our JDs, which are job descriptions, right? However, before it gets submitted, it goes through my manager's review. Now, my manager is known to slack off and delegate everything to his subordinates, including me, because I'm the only one under her. She's been around for close to 20 years, and it's an unspoken secret in the company that she's the way she is. And I'm afraid she would start claiming credit for my work or conveniently transfer some of the tasks or job roles which I am doing over to her when it rightfully should have been hers in the first place, if you get what she's saying. How can she handle this?
Well, so the situation is such where you have to rewrite your JD, from what I'm hearing, but you're afraid that your boss might come in and push everything to you, right? I would actually recommend having an adult conversation with that boss and sit down and say, look, this is what I'm going to present to HR. What are your thoughts and views about it? And if she says, no, you have to do this piece, which is actually her piece, you have the right to push back. But once again, like what Glenn said earlier, be diplomatic about it.
You have to.
But you can stand your ground and you can state, look, this is something which I think you'll be better suited to do. And you just can push back. But I would actually recommend having a discussion with her before just submitting blindly to HR.
She has, after all, been, there for 20 years.
Yeah.
She's paid her dues,
right.
and she's managing her team the way she feels she wants to manage them. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I mean, ultimately, the manager gets credit. Right?
For the team's work, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's organizing everything.
Yeah. And, for people who... There's a name... There's a name for people who are in charge of things and want things their own way. It's called the boss.
Exactly.
So
This is true.
Boss.
This is true.
Okay.
Gotta differ.
We'll continue this conversation on The Big Show TV. It is 8:14.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. This is your final chance.
Okie dokie. So we've got so many questions coming through.
So nice, your cowboy hat today.
It's
not a
Cowboy
cowboy
hat.
hat.
What hat is this?
It's
not a fedora, no.
it is a Panama version of a pork pie.
It's a pork pie hat.
It's a
pork
pork pie.
Pork pie.
Pork pie.
Anyway,
pie.
so
You can't eat it. It's a pork pie.
Yeah, it's a pork pie. Anyway, so a lot of questions coming through because this is Ask Adrian time. I've been in the sales department for 8 years, and I've expressed interest in another role, but have been rejected twice. Should I start looking somewhere else? You've been rejected twice.
Yeah, and the big question is, why have you been rejected twice? Because number one, what are the roles you're applying for? If it's the role that you think you're ready for, and they're just holding you back, then maybe it is time to consider a move. But sometimes, and this is very tricky.
Maybe tattoos, Adrian.
So
Some
random.
companies.
Yes.
But not
They'll
for
reject
He's
you.
right.
but not for
Oh,
internal
tattoos that you
role.
have. Oh,
Yes,
right.
yes.
Okay.
Maybe full sleeves and all.
The tricky thing is this, okay? If you're in sales, you have to ask yourself, why are you not being promoted out of sales? Sometimes because you're just so darn good at your job, your boss doesn't want to lose you, because who's going to do the sales? If your top sales guy wants to go,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
yeah, you would make all sorts of excuses to keep them, you see. So, so if that is the reason why you're really so good at sales and they want to keep you unfairly, and twice you're asking for it, and it's not an unreasonable move into another role which you can reasonably do, then you got to start thinking that maybe this is not the place for my growth.
Yeah. It's interesting that you asked me whether I would do that, because I would normally not move that salesperson, because it's hard to find good salespeople,
Yeah.
right? But there will come a time where you recognize that that person has grown old enough to be moved in a different direction. And I don't mean old by age, I mean by experience. To be moved.
Making too much commission already.
No. They will now become
what?
no. They'll
Earning more than me.
So they're doing sales. They reach a point where they can now see a bigger picture. So you allow them to sit above sales. Do you know what I mean? And that's. It takes a while, and it takes a certain kind of person. Not all great salespeople can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the perception on tattoos nowadays? I mean, because it's a very old-fashioned thought that people with tattoos
Are gangsters.
are gangsters. They're bad people. You know, they shouldn't be in front-facing roles and stuff like that. Is it still like that?
I heard somewhere, okay, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna. I heard somewhere that I don't know whether it's still the case. Singapore Airlines, for
Yeah.
example, if you want to be a stewardess
You
or a
can't have a
steward,
tattoo.
you cannot have
Tattoos. Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
Although
I'm
it
not
might,
sure if it's the same.
although it's covered, because most of the time the guys are
For men,
wearing
yeah.
long sleeve shirts and a jacket, but if they find out during the interview process, you're out.
Yeah, because for the girls and the guys, they have to get into swimsuits for their training, for their swimwear stuff and stuff like that.
I don't see where that affects you on a flight.
Exactly,
You're in long
yeah.
sleeves. You never see it.
And
Why?
if girls have it somewhere where you can't,
you can't see it, right?
So
Yeah.
is this an image thing?
It must be an image
what
thing.
FD was saying,
Is that what
outside
it
of
is?
your role? You know, if someone sees it on you, on your back or wherever
I
it is.
don't know, I think tattoos have gone. In fact, it's now it's called body art.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Sounds a lot nicer
Yeah.
than tattoos. Tattoos is like Yakuza kind of tattoo.
Yeah.
Right? Body art is a lot more acceptable now. But once again, it depends.
On the role as well.
On the role. And also, if you have a face tattoo, that might be a bit
Difficult
not so
to get
well,
by.
not so well received by the clients, perhaps. Okay,
But the tattoo on the face is SIA.
I don't think so.
It's the batik print.
yeah.
So I actually know very good business leaders, very senior business leaders with sleeve tattoos, the whole arm,
Okay.
sleeve, body, sleeve art. And he's one of the best marketing guys I know. And in the industry.
But how are they perceived? You know what I mean? I mean, he's established. What about someone new who's going to be totally amazing and become one of these guys? How do they get a shot at
But
the same
for him,
pie?
he's quite lucky also, because he's in a marketing role, so that gives you a bit of creative latitude,
Leeway.
I would
Yeah.
say, right?
Yeah.
So it all depends once again. If you have a small tattoo, I don't think anyone's gonna stop you from getting a job.
Yeah.
But I think the bigger concern is if you come in with a full 80% body covered in tattoo.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Sometimes you need to think about it. I mean, for anyone who's planning to get a tattoo right now, listening to us and all that, you got to be smart about it as well. You know, all these years I've always wanted sleeves, right? But because of this industry, and I got my tattoos perhaps maybe because I was in this
In the
industry as
industry.
well. You know, there's once upon a time I was this bad boy. These days I'm such an angel. So at that time I started getting tattoos.
You needed
and
to
I
live
went
up
down
to that
the-
bad boy image.
Yeah, and who took me to go get my first few tattoos? The late Chris Ho.
Oh, of course.
So
okay.
you know, I used to go to all
Yeah.
his tattoo shops because he had tattoos,
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I loved it. You know, I couldn't stop
It's
thinking
addictive.
about tattoos. But even though I was at that stage where I was perceived as reckless and this bad boy and stuff like that, I never. It was always my rule: no tattoos
Below the elbow.
elbow. so that if I wear a short-sleeved shirt, it wouldn't look too bad.
Too bad, yeah.
You know,
You can cover up if
you
needed.
can cover up.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. You see, I mean, if you're serious about your career, I mean, in the next like 20 years, because the job you're in right now may not be the job you're in 20 years from now.
Yeah, you've got to make
You've got to think ahead.
decisions that may change 20 years down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. So my 20 other tattoos you can't see right now, right?
Yeah.
It's all over my body.
Can't see it.
But that's the way I processed.
It's for private eyes only.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that we brought up tattoos because Molly said, and I don't know whether this is true, maybe, Mol works for a Japanese company. She says tattoos are still frowned upon in Japanese companies because of their association
Because
with
of
the
the
Yakuza.
yeah.
and
yeah.
so
it's still frowned upon.
In all countries, I think gangsterism
Yes.
is
Yeah.
Especially,
closely
especially in
associated.
Japan,
Yeah.
especially if you have tattoos, you can't even get into the onsen. They won't even let you
Correct.
into the
I
onsen.
had to wear a wetsuit
Oh,
in the
really?
hotel pool, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The
No,
Hyatt
you're not
in
allowed-
Tokyo.
Because
You're not
of your
allowed to show them.
tattoos?
Yes.
Not even.
Oh, wow.
You can't show your tattoos in public
cannot.
at a swimming pool.
You cannot.
In Japan. You
Wow.
can't.
Even out in the open. You know,
Yeah.
this applies in Korea as well. If you watch any Korean variety show, and you've got your boy band members
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
tattoos and all that, they'll get you to
Cover it with makeup.
to cover it with tape.
With
Yeah.
tape, right?
So it's like a huge plaster, and they'll cover
I
it.
had no idea.
Cover
Even
it
if
up.
it's a Hello Kitty tattoo,
It doesn't matter.
You're just gonna tell you.
Really?
It doesn't
I'm just
matter.
curious. It doesn't matter. As long as you got a tattoo.
As long as you got a
it.
tattoo, it's covered up.
I had no idea.
So it's still very much
Very frowned
yeah.
upon.
Frowned
Yeah.
upon.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
It's very interesting.
If you have any questions at all, today is Free Advice Day. Adrian is here. Any career advice that you need, please key it into our YouTube or Facebook channels. He will answer anything at all.
Okay, I'm just going through. There's so many.
I'm sure we have many people asking questions right now.
More on Facebook.
This is from Alvin. At times, you keep finding jobs that are related to what your previous job was. However, when time passes, you start to feel that you don't know what job is really. You don't know what job is going to. Wow.
Are you reading this like you're reading the news?
No. You
Sometimes
start
the
feeling,
English is a bit hard.
Yeah, you start feeling that you don't know what job you're going to find, based on what you've already been
what are you
doing.
trying to say?
Okay, I know what he's trying to say. You always look for a job related to the job you did before,
Okay.
but at some point, do we need to look away from that and change our whole
hang on
approach?
that.
We'll do that when we come back.
Hold that thought.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE towards Tuas at the Totak Avenue entrance, a vehicle has broken down. And on the BKE towards the PIE after the SLE exit, avoid the right lane, please. An accident has been reported. For anything else, you can WhatsApp us at 88550920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Kiss 92 listeners, we have with us our career strategist, the CEO and founder at Career Agility International, Mr. Adrian Choo.
Yeah, and if you've just tuned in and you have any career advice that you need, please, you can drop us a voice note. You can give us a call. Our numbers are 669109220 to call, and our WhatsApp number is 88550920. Adrian is here to answer any career questions you may have.
And Alvin has asked the question, you always go for jobs that are related to the job you previously had. Is there a point? When is the point? How do you know when it's time to change?
Pivot.
Well, it's a lot of times we do look for jobs where we have been having a very good track record and success rate in. And a lot of times when we look for jobs in that area, it's mostly low-hanging fruits. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to pivot out, when's the time? Anytime's the time. The question is, are you ready? Are you skilled up for it? And most important, because a lot of our clients come to us and say, I want a better job, Adrian. And I ask them, what is a better job? And they cannot define what a better job is. So anything else, but I have no idea what. You tell me, Adrian. You tell me what's a better job for me.
Because it's not just the money. We all know that.
Passion as well.
And it depends on your life stage, right? Sometimes, if you're at a stage where you don't need the money, then maybe you want to try something else that's different. But sometimes you're at a stage where you need the money. And then, therefore, your career strategy has to change towards how do I move into a wealth building, and the job may be, I want to move into a bigger job, pays more, but it's going to make me work even harder. So that could be your career strategy. So you need to figure out what your career strategy is, what sort of job you want to go into, what industry, what role, and are you skilled up for it? Because I want to be a pilot, but right now at 51, I can't be a pilot because for all the various reasons, right? So you have to be realistic, but you need to have an idea of what you want to do, where you're going to go, and what's required of it. And it might take time, but if you set your heart to it and your mind to it, if it's not unreasonable, I think you can.
But really, you can't be a pilot at the age of 51?
I don't know, man. My eyesight is so bad now.
You need good eyesight, right?
Just go
to
for
be a
LASIK
pilot?
first.
I went for LASIK. It's still.
Are you
You're
serious?
still wearing glasses with LASIK?
15 years ago, I went for LASIK. So now it's the.
It's worn out already, is it?
It's the presbyopia.
Oh,
Thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's called getting
wow.
old. So right now.
Lao
I can't-
Hua Yan.
Lao Hua Yan, correct.
Yeah, same. All of us. Yeah, more or less. I've been thinking about going for LASIK.
So
though.
have
So would
I,
you
yeah.
advise me against it?
I don't know. I'm told people of our vintage should
years.
wait to get cataracts and then. Then
Yes,
everything's all
someone
done for
told
you
me
or
as
something
well.
like
Yeah.
that.
Because if he gets it done at 50, he's going to have to get it done again. He might as well just get the cataract operation
Wait, hold
done.
on.
What?
Why are we just assuming that all of us are going to get
Yeah, exactly.
cataracts?
Not
Because-
everyone gets cataract. My-
Everyone starts to develop cataracts. It's how far it develops before you pass away.
What about
My
you?
parents are 81 years old and knock on
wow.
wood, none of them,
No, see?
neither of them have cataracts.
No, but that doesn't mean their lenses are not yellowing. It all starts. It
No,
depends on.
they're not yellowing
Yeah.
for sure.
You've got to go and get it checked.
I mean, if
I
her
just
parents are
did-
80 over years old,
I
and
just
are
did
still
this
okay.
check. I just did this check. So basically, it happens, and then it depends on how fast. The degradation is different for different people.
Wait, do you have cataracts or not?
Mine are already yellowing.
So you got to go for a cataract operation.
They're saying don't go now because it's too early. Don't bother with it yet. So now I go every 6 months to get my lenses checked.
So
Okay.
so let's say you develop cataracts and you have to take them out, and then after that your eyesight will be perfect.
Then I won't need these.
You look a bit funny. Actually.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh my
Put them back on.
goodness. Put them back on, please. Your eyeballs are so small.
This is
Your
the other.
pupils are so tiny.
This is the other thing we discovered the other day when I was at SNEC.
What?
I was actually born with eyeballs slightly smaller than the average person.
Exactly. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
The tiny eyeballs.
Take off your glasses again,
Okay.
and then look into the camera.
Okay.
Look at that. It's a bit strange. Put your magnifying glasses on, please. Okay, let's continue to talk about everything you want to ask Adrian on the Big Show TV. Okay, it's Ask Adrian Anything Day right here on the Big Show. It is Thursday, the 16th of March.
Kiss 92 Day Check by Gain City. Gain City's 42nd anniversary sale is
Ask Adrian anything.
Now, we have dealt with this before a long time ago, Adrian. But the questions come up again. How much backup do I need in my bank?
Wow. Financially.
Wow.
That's an
That's
impossible
hard.
question.
That's hard. Depends how you
it
live.
depends on your
though.
lifestyle, right?
Yeah, I
But
mean-
I'm not saying dollars and cents. Let's try and do it in terms of months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How much should
Yeah,
you be
that's-
prepared for
A
in this
year.
current market? With how long it may take you to get a job, you want some downtime first, whatever.
So my advice to our clients generally is, you calculate what your monthly burn rate is, okay, on the barest minimum, which you need. You multiply by anywhere between 6 to 9 months,
Okay.
okay, because that is, in a worst case scenario, it might take you 6 to 9 months to land a new job if you get retrenched.
So a year is safe.
Yeah, so a
Yeah,
year
safe.
is safe. But you know what we always say is, you when you've saved up to a year, then you try and save up for 2 years. You save up, say, 3 years, to the point where you can have a kind of a what we call a freedom fund.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so that you can you can basically
Be fearless.
be fearless. You know, to the point where if your boss gives you a tough time, you say, "Hey, I've got
I don't care.
I've got 5 years of savings
Yeah.
now. I can take a career break. I can take a whatever it is,
Sabbatical.
a sabbatical, right? Yeah, and just I got my freedom fund, and let me just get off and do my own stuff, and I come back again.
But that's
Yeah.
what everyone wants, right? Financial freedom.
Freedom,
Correct.
yeah.
To be able to do whatever
That
they
would
want.
usually be a single person.
Hard to
Right? If
say,
you got a
yeah.
family.
But I mean,
tough.
nowadays you
It's a
got
bit
you got
tougher.
double income households, right? So I mean, there is the chance.
Yes, live off your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you see, the thing is this.
Yes.
okay, the thing is this.
You're a dinkwad. You know, I've called you that before, right? Double income, no kids with a dog.
Yeah.
With a dog, yeah.
Hashtag dinkwad. Okay, that's
Dinkwad.
nice.
Something
Yeah.
so good sounds so bad.
Yeah, I know.
No, the thing is this. It's yes, things are getting expensive, and that's why we always say your career strategy has to tie with your life strategy, has to tie with your financial strategy as well, because they're all interconnected. So if you want to have a career strategy that's good and safe and sound, you have to have the financial discipline as well, right? And if you're saying things like, if you're hearing things like it's very expensive, how do I save? You can actually save a lot of money on silly things. Okay, let me tell you. Like for instance,
Lazada.
gym.
Yes.
guilty as
Shopee.
charged.
Taobao.
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 You know, things like gym membership. You're paying the gym membership. Sometimes you don't go to the gym.
Yeah. A lot of the time people don't go.
Yeah, you know, and guilty as charged. I've done it before as well. And I realized, why am I paying this? So,
I've done it many times.
Yeah,
In fact,
so-
I think I did it again.
and
But I always pay for
Oh,
the whole
yes,
year.
that's right. You
I
did
pay
just
for the
join
whole
a gym,
year.
didn't you?
yeah, and then you
Yeah.
don't.
Oh my gosh.
So in fact, there's this joke that the gym membership fee is the penalty you pay for not turning up.
yeah.
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 So it's basically that. You know, things like coffee. Like I just had coffee this morning at a coffee shop, $1.40.
As
versus
opposed to
Starbucks,
$8.
$8, you know,
and
it
also
builds up.
subscriptions. I think people tend to forget about the number of subscriptions they have
Oh, yeah.
that they forget about.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of time it's the trials. Like every time I do a trial, right, I always mark in my calendar when the trial's going to end, so it pings me and I can delete it, right? But a lot of people forget about their streaming platforms, their
Yes.
Spotify, their Netflix, their this, you know, everything.
That's why
adds up.
everything I sign up for, I'll sign up for a year. Because it's easier for me to remember. Then I go like, oh, okay, this year is up. I'm not subscribing for the
But
next
but
year
things
already.
like Netflix and HBO,
automatic.
no, it's automatic. It goes on for like 10 years if you
Yeah,
don't.
lah, I
if
mean,
you don't
but then
cancel it.
they will prompt me as well when it's approaching
Is
the
it a
end.
yearly thing?
Well, at least for Apple.
Oh right, okay. I don't even remember.
So I'll go in there and I'll just go, oh, okay, this is expiring, that's
Yeah.
expiring, whether I want to renew it or not.
So you have no subscriptions that you don't know about.
Well,
I'll bet you do.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Everybody
sure,
does.
maybe,
Yeah.
but as I said, you know,
Maybe now you're gonna
after
go look.
after a year, I usually
Have a look,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, the more obvious ones.
Actually, that's a
Well,
very
who
good
knows?
point. I should do that this
You just
weekend.
check,
and
yeah,
just
because
check
you
all
never
my
know.
subscriptions.
Do an audit.
Yeah, do an audit.
Do an
Yeah.
audit. That's a good idea.
Sorry, but you were saying
Because some companies are quite sneaky. They just renew it without letting you know, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So-
Yes, and they do tell you that.
And sometimes it's hard to cancel
Yeah.
for some companies.
They make it a little bit complicated, and then
Yeah.
after all, you're just like, oh my gosh, I'll do this tomorrow because I don't have time today, and then you forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another question that we've got that's very interesting. I have a friend that worked in his first company for more than 10 years. Is it risky to stay in your first company for more than 10 years?
It depends on whether you've evolved, whether the company has evolved. Because like yesterday, I was just talking to a client, and he said he was in a company for 8 years, and he said that it's not the same company which I joined 8 years ago, and it's not fun anymore because the company has changed, the leadership has changed, the culture has changed, so much so that it's almost like a different company. Therefore, I want to move. So. It all depends. If you're in a company for 10 years, but you're still enjoying it, you're still learning new things, you're still developing and growing. And if it's an industry that is still growing as well, then why not stay? You know, but if it's not, if it's a industry which is like dying out, for instance, like some technologies are just going away, right? Then why are you still staying? You know, if you're in like print, for instance, and nothing's going on print anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you want to stay in a printing business, for instance?
Speaking of dying industries, besides print, what other industries are dying now? Like, what other industries that people shouldn't be looking at to joining?
Well, some technologies are getting out of touch. For instance, like, and I can't imagine. I mean, I can only give you very old examples like those pagers or fax machines, and those kind of things. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So and I would say that a lot of things are evolving, like content websites. You know, they're evolving.
ChatGPT.
That's a good question, actually. When we go on air,
Okay.
you can ask
Yeah.
Adrian
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I think that's a
So
very good
It's going to
question.
be the last talk set.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can wrap.
It's quite a good
Okay, stand by. U2 Vertigo right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. We have with us our career strategist, Adrian Choo. And today, we've been asking you to ask Adrian anything.
You know, it's so interesting. People are asking how much money should we have in the bank? What industries are growing? What are the most sought after skills? But Angel came up with a question that was really good.
Yeah, you were talking about growing industries, but you were also talking about industries that are on the out, right? Print is one of them. Some technologies like pages, faxes. Who faxes anymore,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Checkbook printing, I think they should be out there. I mean,
Yeah,
like, who
yeah.
sends checks anymore? What other industries are on the way
I
out?
was just asking my daughter, she's 15, just 2 days ago. I said, do you know how to post a letter?
Oh,
And she was
no.
like, I know there's some stamp you got to
See, postage. That's interesting as well.
It's interesting. And it has evolved. Postage has evolved into what we call last mile delivery. Right to the door, like Ninja
Yeah.
Van, those type of deliveries.
Yeah.
So it has evolved. The way, I mean, it's always easy to look in hindsight to say that, oh, these industries are all dead and gone. The difficult thing is to ask yourself, it's my industry, I mean, is it going to be a sunset industry? And one of the ways to look at it is you look at the more developed countries like in China or the US, is your job that you're doing in the industry still there? If it's gone or it's on the way out, or if there's a disruptive technology like ChatGPT coming in, then it could be an early indicator that your role is going to evolve. And if you're not going to go upstream about it or upskill about it, then you run the risk of becoming a dinosaur.
Okay, there's a WhatsApp question. I know this is our last bit with you, Adrian, but I think this guy needs some help. It sounds like he's in a bit of a conundrum. I'm in the sales department. My supervisor keeps telling me I should quit, and every day he scolds us aggressively. I really need advice if I should quit this job.
I think report that guy to HR, I think.
If there's an HR department, some of them don't have HR departments. Some are so small as well, right?
Now, the thing is this, quit for the right reasons, okay? And if you are losing sleep, if it's affecting your health, and if it's affecting your mental wellness, okay, and most importantly, if it's affecting your confidence in yourself, okay, I would say that's a good reason to leave. And if it's most importantly, if it's affecting your health, okay, then there's no point staying. Because
What is that guy shouting anyway?
Yeah,
Shouting
what's
at
up with
everyone.
this guy?
I don't know. I used to have a boss who used to do that, and it was just simply unpleasant. And
Yeah, they just don't have a control.
Yeah.
They just don't
Then
have
they
the
shouldn't
control.
be in that kind of
Yeah.
role, though.
Yeah.
Then it's up to their boss to not have them in that role, right?
Yeah, but you also have to ask
Hey,
yourself.
record him, and then upload it on Singapore Incidents.
Yes, that'll do it.
But you got to ask yourself as well. Why is your boss telling you that? Okay, is it political, or is it maybe because you're not hitting the targets which he wants to hit, for instance, or you're not doing? So I would.
So
say,
why don't they just fire this guy then? I mean, if he's
Well,
doing so terribly.
Okay, let me
Right,
let me give you another side of the coin. I know you can do better, but you're not.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah, but don't
shouting.
say
Why are you
you should
shouting?
No,
quit.
that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have control.
Yeah.
No, but he's saying you should quit.
Yeah.
That's a different thing.
People have different ways of speaking. It's
But
weird,
honestly,
yeah.
if my boss tells me I should quit, that's
I'll
a big
quit.
that's a big indicator already.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll
wanted
go.
here.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you go where you're not
yeah.
wanted?
Yeah, and then I
Right?
would just
Yeah.
But
start-
easier said than that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, this is true as well.
they
yeah.
like the job, they need the job.
It's just maybe this one person that they don't like.
Yeah, maybe you can get a transfer, or maybe you can talk to your boss's boss. And if you're performing well, but your boss is making life difficult for you,
Well, ask the
Yeah.
boss what is the problem.
just have an adult conversation with the boss.
Yeah, not what's the problem. I haven't had that conversation.
What's wrong?
What's your problem with
What's
me?
the problem?
What's the problem? What's the problem with what's the problem?
That's how two alphas are talking.
Yes, exactly.
This is true.
What's the problem? Come on.
Tell me.
Just
me
be honest.
why you don't like me.
And maybe after that they like each other.
And then they go
We
have a
hope.
drink together.
We
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Anyways, any last words, Adrian, before you go?
Well, if you have any other career questions, just drop us a note, info@careeragility.org. Always happy to give some perspective to your challenges and issues. But the weekend's coming, and this is the school holiday, the last couple of days of the school holidays.
Yes.
If you
Hang
have
in there.
Kids, yeah, hang in there.
Hang in there, parents.
Hang in there, parents. Enjoy your late mornings while you still can.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm enjoying my late mornings. So, spend the next couple of days if you have, with your kids, spend some time out. decompress, just take them out and have fun.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's what kids are for, right? For you to have fun with them.
Absolutely.
To go out with them, bring them to new places.
Make them clean the house as well. That's a good time.
Just be a kid like them. Okay, thank you very much, Adrian, for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Have a great one, guys.
Coming
Thank
up
you.
next, exclusively on The Big Show TV, Shawn C. And as usual, he always entertains us to the max. So make sure you watch us exclusively on The Big Show TV.
Kiss 92 weather.
Mainly fair with a high temperature of 32 degrees Celsius. It looks like a good day.
Kiss 92 weather brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric. Mitsubishi Electric StarMax Aircon saves you energy and money. It's easy to clean and is one of the quietest.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the KJE towards the PIE right after the BKE entrance, avoid lane 1. An accident has been reported. For anything else, WhatsApp us at 8855-0920.
The Big Show with Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman is brought to you by Caro, Southeast.
Of the
Yes,
day.
we
What
do.
is it?
Okay, we're talking about housing in Singapore. Which estate is the oldest in Singapore?
Ang Mo
Toa Payoh.
Kio. Oh, I say Ang Mo Kio.
Okay, Ang Mo Kio,
Toa
Toa
Payoh.
Payoh.
All right, and for that, you could win for yourself a radio frequency treatment worth $388 from Follicle Hair Spa and Salon. All you need to do is key in the answer on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel in the comment section. And if you're trying to prevent hair fall, well, you know, as you comb your hair, as you wash your hair, if you're seeing too much hair falling out, then this treatment is just for you. It's 90 minutes long, and you can go to follicle.com.sg to find out more.
Maybe
you
it's
go.
Chua Chu Kang.
Oh, no, I think Choa Chu Kang was quite new.
Just go
Choa
to
Chu Kang was quite new.
go to the
But it's a
comment
farm,
section
chicken
and put
farm.
it down.
It was a farm.
You
but it's
may-
a housing estate.
It's
you
where
may
B's flat
need
is.
you may need to actually use your good friend Google for this one.
They always use Google. What are you
Shawn's
talking
here.
about?
Yo!
Good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning,
Sean's
everyone.
here.
FD is like, shut up, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Sean.
Segue
Sean,
into the next bit.
Adrian is here as well.
Hey, Sean.
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, my goodness. What a nice tan you have. You know, compare you and FD. Look at that. Look at that. One has a lot of blood. The other one
You
is
can't
being
compare FD
drained
to
of
anyone.
his
You know, if you look at this, Sean, we are like a paint palette,
Oh,
Yeah.
and every paint palette has white.
you know that white is not a color, yeah?
It's not
White
a
is not a color.
It's not a color.
So you do not exist.
I do not exist.
White is the balance that we all need. White balance.
Oh, thanks, Sean.
Memoirs of a Geisha. There. Who acted in that? Is it Tom Cruise? And then
no, was it Tom Cruise?
I can't remember who acted.
The
in that one.
guy? I
The
can't
guy,
remember.
But the girl was also. I can't remember her name as
The
well.
girl
But
name
that's
was Zhang Ziyi,
Zhang
right?
Zhang
Ziyi was in
Ziyi.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Michelle Yeoh in it as well?
I don't think so.
I
I, think
don't
that was
remember.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Memoirs of a Geisha. Let's. Oh, we can't see FD anymore. What happened?
What happened now?
I don't know.
I'm
He's-
trying not to be white.
Oh, yes, Michelle Yeoh was in it. Of course she was.
Was she?
Zhang Ziyi, Ken Watanabe.
Ken
Ken Watanabe, that's right.
Michelle
Yeah.
Yeoh and Gong Li. No,
Yeah.
no white people in here. No white people.
But Zhang Ziyi was the main actress, I think.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Gong
good.
Li was in it. as
Should
well.
have been Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Okay, come.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay, Sean.
Well, you know what? I was going to do something else, but then now I've just got inspiration to do something new. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because of our topic, and I'll show you what I mean in a little while. Let me just straighten this out. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, not very straight.
You're OCD like that. It's okay.
Yes, of course. We must make sure the viewers get a good view, you know. Okay, so
Absolutely.
what I'm gonna do is, before we do anything, over there, you guys, okay, just name a value. For example, ace, two, queens, kings, whatever. Just name a value.
8.
8. Okay,
Wow,
so what
good
I'll do
number.
is, I'm gonna pull out the 8. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. That's. Oh, hang on. I must have missed 1. 8. There. 3. And 4. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm pulling out the 8s. Okay. That's the club. Oh, sorry. Let me explain what these are. 8 of clubs, 8 of hearts, 8 of spades, 8 of diamonds. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And let's see, FD, since you're there, pick one. Name one of them. Clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds?
8 of hearts.
8 of hearts. Hearts. Okay,
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Okie dokes. Was there any particular reason you chose the 8 of hearts?
I just like hearts as a suit.
Lucky and
Just
love.
like hearts
8
as a
of
suit.
hearts.
Interesting. Okay. Now, why I said that it was interesting. We're talking about white balance and everything, and it's also interesting that I got FD to choose this is because, amazingly, out of all the 8s, you chose the only one that is here.
Hey.
Okay.
At first, I was thinking to myself, Shawn,
Yeah,
why
'cause
is
we're not
Shawn
seeing
not
it.
showing us the
Yeah,
card?
yeah, yeah.
But you picking an 8 of hearts, and my goodness.
Wow.
And the best of all is I'm so glad you chose the 8 of hearts because this was a 1 in 52, a 1 in 52 chance to get it right.
Oh! What happened to your cards?
Wow.
You need to get your
Wow.
money back, Shawn.
He knew you were going to pick 8 of
Nice,
hearts
nice,
already,
nicely
man.
done.
Well, that's
Nicely
nicely done, Shawn.
Wow.
Well done, Shawn.
Nicely
well
done. Good one.
What is
Yeah,
that,
and-
man?
And it was like, we were talking about white balance. I was like, what can I do to
And
make
you chose
things a
the
little
number 8.
whiter?
I know.
Yeah.
You chose the number 8.
Wow, that's
Right?
quite something.
Well
Quite
done.
something. Well done, Shawn. Good one.
Thank you. Oh, just want to do a quick shout out, okay?
Sure.
So, 1st of April, there's a comedy special happening at Aliwal Arts Center. Okay, a friend of mine is doing the show, but I'll be there as well. Okay, so if any of our fans want to catch some comedy, Colin Christopher is the comedian. Okay, he'll be doing a special at the Aliwal Arts Center around 8:30, I think. I'll be there. So if you guys want to come down, ticket links are in my bio.
Okay,
So
but
bio
will
ticket.
you actually be there, though? Because it's the 1st of April.
Good one.
See?
Yes, but I will
No.
be there.
Okay, you will. Okay.
But your friend is Caucasian, is it?
No.
Like
he's a
FD?
local, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
no.
I'm
He's
Eurasian
not.
and
Colin
proud of it.
Christopher.
Colin
Yeah,
Christopher.
in fact, I think some of you guys may have seen him before. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He's been
good.
around, so you might have seen him before. So I'm sure. Yeah, he's been around. He's been in the comedy scene for quite a while. Yeah, you'll love it.
Okay,
Cool.
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you very much, Shawn,
Thanks,
for joining us today.
Shawn.
Welcome.
See you next
guys.
week.
All right. Headline news and sports up next.
Ciao.